It's true that some folks and the stuff they make just kind of give us the ick, right? But we're not legally required to put our ick in writing and share it with the world. Welcome back to the 50/50 Project, where every week I talk through an item on a list made up of one thing I've learned for each year I've lived. Okay, so this week we're making one very last stop in the making category for thing number 41, cringe quietly or not at all. In essence, this is kind of a call to think twice about how we speak to each other about the things we make, and to remember that just because something exists in a public space, it doesn't mean the public is morally obligated, or even, I would say, ethically permitted to just savage it. But to get to that point, I first have to tell you about what's going on with my Instagram feed right now. I've recently been on quite a journey with my Instagram feed. I don't know what I've done to the algorithm. I cannot trace back to what I've clicked on or watched in the last few weeks or months that has caused this, frankly, calamity. But I've done something, and something has consequently gone terribly awry. And trying to figure out is kind of like calculus, meaning I can't do it. But here's a partial list of some of the things that are now appearing to me on that platform: a crocheted frog doll that uses stop animation to cook elaborate breakfasts, soap carving tutorials, a man who jumps rope, apparently professionally, to various pieces of rock music, way too many AI generated action short movies that feature lead characters that are cats, but who also somehow have extremely muscular and or buxom human bodies. And these are always soundtracked by that Sia song Unstoppable, but all of the words have just been replaced with meows. And videos of bat-eared foxes from a zoo in Ohio. I could go on and on with the weirdness. Not all of it is bad. I really do enjoy the foxes, and I've kind of come around to the idea of soap art as an affordable way to try out sculpting if I ever need another arts and crafts outlet. But it is all random and it is all kind of weird. And one other thing that keeps popping up are these music videos made by as yet undiscovered singer songwriters. And in particular, there is a duo out of somewhere in California, two young men who sing just the chorus, it seems, of the same song over and over again in an apparently endless variety of music videos. Just the one chorus, never the whole song, mostly just the words, I'm just not over it. I'm just not over it, over it. I'm just not over it, over it. I mean, I've seen this probably 250 times in the last 4 weeks. It's very interesting. And I cannot overstate just the sheer number of different 30 or 45-second videos that seem to exist for this chorus. One day they're in a parking garage with five or six of their friends doing a kind of, I don't know, boy band swaying dance thing. And then the next day, the two of them are standing in front of the Golden Gate Bridge singing. And then 2 days later, they're in kind of a recording studio looking set, sharing a boom mic. And it's all very strange. But what interests me the most is the comments, I think, which of course means that I'm clicking on the comments, which of course also means that the platform is serving me even more of these videos. So I know I'm a part of this problem, but still. And the comments are surprisingly supportive, or at least surprisingly non savage for the most part. I mean, they're gently mocking in many instances. The people producing these videos appear not to take themselves terribly seriously, and the commenters have followed suit. I have to admit that I first clicked on the comments out of just a morbid curiosity, thinking, geez, I bet these guys are just getting savaged. But they weren't. They were getting ribbed. They were definitely getting teased a tiny bit, and there were a few people in the comments who were just befuddled by all of it and were confused about how they got to this corner of the internet and what it all means. So there was some existential exploration in these comments, but they were mostly just getting kind of lightly roasted in an almost friendly way. And there were very few instances of the meanest, most hateful kinds of criticism that I actually expected to see a lot of. And I felt really, really relieved by this development with an intensity that surprised even me in the moment. It was like I expected to see yet another example of the worst of the human internet nature on full display. And instead, I got something kinder and gentler than I expected. And I think I felt relieved. I think I felt kind of uplifted by that because I really think it matters that we live in a society that almost encourages us to savage each other, to go for the jugular in our comments, to say the meanest possible things every time. And I'm not talking about honest critique or feedback where it's been solicited. And I'm not even talking about celebrity creators who are probably used to that kind of crap by now. I'm thinking more about everyday people who just kind of give making something and putting it out into the world a try for the first time. Maybe it's a video like that on the internet. Maybe it's sending an essay off to a writing contest or taking the crafts you've been making to a holiday market for the first time and seeing if they will find an audience and sell. And of course, not everything's a success, especially right at the start. I mean, all the way back in episode number one, I talked about the importance of just getting good at being bad at things because that's where everybody starts. Not everything is going to succeed at first, or maybe at all, ever. But the world we live in today makes it really hard to find that space to start bad and get better. And that is never more obvious than in the comment sections or the review sections of the internet, where it so often seems like the whole point of commenting is to break the spirit of the person who dared to make something and share it. And I think that's harmful to all of us. It's hurtful, of course, to the person who made the thing and shared it and was savaged. I mean, that wounds you. And it also makes it much harder to keep going, to keep working on getting to good eventually. And it's harmful to all others who are watching this happen, even from a remove, even from behind the safety of a screen. How many people who might grow to be great creators or makers see that happening to others and decide, fuck that. I'm not sticking my neck up in that environment. I'm not going to try, and I'm not going to let anybody else see me try because it makes me a target of something really ugly and painful. Better maybe to just never make or share or be or do. And that hurts all of us by extension because we are all now losing everything that each of those now silenced observers might have otherwise done. And who is to say that some of that work might not have been great? Who is to say that it wouldn't be the thing that you or I most need in some future moment? And I think that's why I was really pleasantly surprised and pretty relieved by the surprisingly non savage tone of that comment section. It was an atmosphere that said, okay, fine, we'll play along with whatever this is for the time being. You guys keep doing you. And I think we need more of that kind of space in this hypercritical world. I think cringe is used as an adjective a lot these days by the hip young people of the world. And if my sources among them are correct, it means pretty much what it seems to mean. It's a descriptor for something that is embarrassingly bad or humiliatingly extra in some way. It's a label of somebody who's trying too hard or too obviously and isn't hitting the mark and is making us kind of recoil a little bit. But long ago, when the mastodon roamed the plains and I was a child, it was entirely a verb. It was that action, that retraction, that drawing back or recoiling from someone or something that we find off putting or maybe a little scary. It's an action, a thing we do. And it's a thing, I think, in either form that we can choose not to do. So the next time I see something creative happening, either online or in person, that feels a little cringe, adjective, I'm going to try to remember that I don't necessarily have to cringe, verb, in response. And I certainly don't have to make a show of cringing. I don't have to document it. I don't have to broadcast it. I can cringe quietly, or better yet, not cringe at all. And in doing so, I can try to give space to someone who is testing their wings or finding their way or honing their skills or practicing their craft. Okay, so that's enough of this for today. Thanks for spending some time with me, even if it got a bit cringe here and there. I'll be back next week with thing number 42.